It's Grab Bag Friday. Smash the subscribe button and hit the like. I feel like I should do some of those kind of things sometimes. I think that's what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm not doing them. So I don't know. I think people know where the subscribe button is. I don't think I need to tell them that. But all right. Hang on. We're gonna go do a grab bag and talk about some stuff. So to kick it off, Griffin Gaming Partners says 95% of game makers are developing or maintaining a live service game, hence the glut, which I think there's an opportunity to make then things that aren't a live service game. But if you acted on that today, that means your thing wouldn't come out for 2 years, and would you be ahead of the market or behind the market? Those are the kind of things you got to think about. I don't know. I'm going to pull a bunch of stuff from the discussions and comments. Sorry, I won't be able to attribute because I didn't grab it all. But somebody was talking about Honkai Star Rail and talking about its success, and that's a great example of games as a service. And it's made something like $1.5 billion last year. It's unprofitable. Yep. I read a bunch of reports on this because of between development costs and user acquisition, which user acquisition's $500 million to $1 billion alone. Most people think that game is actually unprofitable. No, they're not stupid. They will make profits over the coming years, right? You did big upfront costs and then continued. But still, you look at those games and you go, okay, well, hang on. If you would have sold Harry Potter at $60 and you sell 12 million of them, and again, that's an exception, but so's Honkai, right? So, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But there you go. And Monopoly Go is another one. There's been some articles about that. Now, I disagree with the articles themselves that they're still not profitable, but you would be shocked of how much they spend on user acquisition. It's crazy. Someone just had a good comment about when you join a new company, best thing I learned when working with a team of developers, but this applies to any team, is befriend everyone, ask questions, and write stuff down in that order. Have a rapport with other members of your team, learn faces and their names. 100% agree. When I started at Valve, the very first thing I did was I learned everybody's name. There's only 75 people there at the time, so it was a little easier. But I learned every single person's name, and I maintained that till about 150. I know normally it's the cutoff's 125, and I'm not good with names, but I purposely worked on it and thought that was a really important thing so that I knew everybody, I knew about everybody. And it's weird when you say it out loud, it often seems like you're scheming or being manipulative, but my thing was like, no, these people are really great at what they do. I want to learn about them, and I want to be respectful of my interactions with them. So I will learn their names and faces. When I used to do press before I would go out to press, I would actually do flashcards of press people and their names so that I would get it right because I'm bad at it, right? So you can do work for this, and it pays off, right? And you just seem like a nice person, which I think I am a nice person, but like this is one reason why. So the question is, what sites do I get my gaming news from? Game Developer. It used to be Gamma Sutra. It's now been renamed Game Developer. Aftermath is a new one. There's a couple others that started up on Substack that have asked if they can offer something not on Substack because I will not use Substack. GI Biz, I've beaten them up a lot, but they are actually really good, and they have a really good short podcast. They try to keep it under 30 minutes, and it's just really good. That's really good coverage of that. And then Jason Schreier, wherever he is, I will read what he's doing. He has a good insight into the business side of stuff. And then a lot of podcasts. And like I mentioned the other day, some of the podcasts I kind of hate listen to because I disagree with so much of it, but there's always some inkling in there. And you can learn a lot from listening to things you disagree with because it helps you understand your argument against it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me broken. Neoliberalism. What? Where did that come into here? It was something talking about the Elon Musk thing. I don't like to talk about it often directly because if you say neoliberalism, people think you're talking about liberalism, but you're not. You're talking about the exact opposite, hence neo. But it's this group of people that think there should be no controls over anything and we shouldn't have in place. They want to tear down, like that whole move right now to tear down a bunch of institutions that are protecting and saving common man. They want to tear down because they think capitalism's perfect. It's this weird thing that somehow everything else needs iteration, everything else needs adjustment, everything else needs to change over time, but capitalism's the one thing we got 100% right that doesn't need to be touched. The market will decide. It's just a simplification that doesn't work anymore. It is a background. There's a Pitchfork, the podcast that talks about this as well. There's some others. we talk about games here. I would rather have the games and the discussion about it be the example of what we're talking about versus harping on about it. Someone else asked me if I was a lefty. I don't even know what that means anymore. You either disagree with me or agree with me, and that's fine. I think right now the bigger problem I have on the channel is often I don't give you a point to agree with, disagree, but just try to dissect what the argument is and understand it. And people aren't always excited about that. And then the last one. I'm really curious your thoughts on competitive versus casual. And they're talking about that there's so many competitive games out right now. Don't people want more casual games? Like in Left 4 Dead 2 example, is you can just kind of hang out and chill with your friends. That was one of my thesis. We say thesis to sound smart. But one of my ideas about making the Anacrusis was that there's this need for casual games. You hang out with your friends. I would say that's still true. I would say the game had some problems that stopped the early adoption of it. It's great now. We play it all the time with friends and made friends there. But also people also do this now in competitive games. Look at Fortnite, where you screw around half the time before you play. I find now watching streams of Fortnite unwatchable to me because I don't want you to play Old Man Rock instead of play the game. And all the other stuff. But I think for players, it's actually fun and they enjoy that. So yeah, I agree with you. I'm actually going to do a breakdown of, there's a paper about the different kinds of fun besides just competitive. And that's going to be my lead in. Maybe I'll get to do it this afternoon, or I have to do other work. I do other work besides these. You can kind of tell when I'm busy working. Or if I'm busy working and waiting, because I do a lot of these because I'm angsty. But yeah, so if you have other questions, this is a great place to put them because I'll go back and I will grab them from here. And in fact, I should make sure I did that now. Oh, there's a question. I would love to know your opinion of MMOs and in general, your experience with them and how Valve considered like WoW. I don't know if I remember if I answered this or not, but I will just say Valve made an MMO. Can you guess what it is? Is it ever frustrating answering questions about Valve all the time? No. I really loved working there, and I really so why'd you leave a thing, right? Like, it is a really weird thing to leave something that just so fit me so well, rewarded me, and was fun. And I really like everybody there. So I'm not going to answer most of the questions, but I get it. It's fine. I get it. People really like the company. It's a different kind of company, and it's very quiet. So, to add this to the grab bag. So one of the things that's interesting to me is as I try to learn what works and what doesn't work, the longer form interview, which was 30 minutes and took another person's time as well, performed poorly compared to other videos. I would have thought it would have been really good because there's a bunch of good stuff in there. So then the question is should I not do those anymore? Have I not trained people, made them, hey, this is the kind of content that's on here and want to come for more? Or was it a bad choice of the person? I don't think so. He's really smart. And it's funny, I had notes and he was answering the next question often in his question because he had an understanding of how these things work. Games. So I'm going to take some excerpts out of it because I think there's some interesting points he made and make sure to pull it out so people see. So, right. But it's a thing of like, you should look and reflect and go, okay, did that work? Did that not work? Some people asked me to interview somebody about cheating. And because I don't know about cheating and I'm not going to talk intelligently about it. And people didn't want to be on record about that. I get that. So, will I do more of those or not? I'm going to keep playing with it and see, and I will do more than one because you can't always just do one. You need to do more than one and go from there. But, as always, if you want to just give feedback, I am always open for feedback or ideas or suggestions. I'm not a big min-max person. So like, I'm not going to like, you should start every video saying blah, 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 whatever. Like, I'm not going to compromise who I am or what I do to fit some algorithm. I would rather fail in that sense. But, always open for feedback, except for that feedback I just said I'm not open for. I'm a dope.